All right, guys. I'm just gonna talk through this here because I needed to speed up this content. um, when you have an hour and a half's worth of work and you knock it down to about 5 minutes, I try to kill the sound down because it's pretty annoying. But right here, what I'm doing is this is that upper the dash that sits above the steering column. The whole back side of it was pretty busted off, and it had several of the screw holes that I needed to mount it. So what I've done is I've made a dam in front of it using some Gorilla Tape, and then I'm coming back right now and I'm putting about 6 layers of fiberglass across that whole back section on the back end, on the back side, towards the firewall. And this right here will strengthen it up in that area, and then also give me something to screw through into the housing that it attaches to. That, like I said, that was one of the things, one of the issues I had with this car was that a lot of the parts, especially plastic parts, were cracked, broken. It looked like somebody had taken it apart before and just, I don't know, they didn't take it out right, and it just a lot of things were just broke here and there. I've still got a little bit more fiberglass work to do to some of these panels. I don't think I'll have to show all of it. Stuff that's sort of like important though, I'll show. I've got a piece of tape down there hanging off the table that I'm using to grasp some of those loose strands off my gloves. Little tip there. But I just keep layering this, and then if you look over on the far side where that hole is, on that you'll see that I'm putting some fiberglass right there. That is a trim piece that sort of sits out towards the driver's side door, and it was cracked right up through that screw hole. So I'm just putting some fiberglass matting on the back of that to strengthen it up. I'll re-drill that hole, and then you see right now what I'm doing. I'm cutting up some fiberglass and I'm putting it over over this bottom edge. I'm fixing to remove those though. Those are just a little bit too stiff of fiberglass. I'm going to remove them, move them to a different spot, and then redo them again. But there's some screw holes down there where those are at, and those screw holes have been broken out. So I'm just going to wrap those in glass, and then that'll be my new holes that I'm going to use to mount it. But this is pretty tedious. Like I said, I spent probably like 40 minutes just getting all this fiberglass layered on, and I mean it by the end of this video, it's pretty much dry. Whenever I was putting it all on. All right, guys. Now right here, I've got that fiberglass set up a little bit. I'll still adjust with it, but right now I'm just going to start cutting out that sheet metal for that cowl. I'm doing it in two sections. One for saving some metal, and then also I've got to do some body work with it. I've got to use my body hammer and my lead bag and sort of round that off a little bit because it's got a bow in it, so it's easier to split it in two sections, bow each one of them, get them sitting there intact. It's just trial and error with some of this stuff, especially when you don't do it every day. But I'll take my lead bag, you set the lead bag underneath the metal, you take a body mallet and you start just hitting it in the center and working yourself from the center out to the edges, and you can get a nice little roll going. And it's subtle. It's not much. Just maybe about probably an eighth of an inch from one side to the other. It's got a little eighth-inch roll to it. But I'm cutting these out with the body saw. I don't have a bandsaw. It's just easy for me to do it with a body saw. But I'll get these cut out and you'll see here in a second. They fit right on the old cowl piece. All right, so guys, I just finished cutting out these pieces for that cowl. I cut it in two just to make it a little bit easier on myself on getting all this welded in. This metal right here. So what I'll end up having to do, because this does have a slight bow in it that goes that way, I'll just take my body hammer and go right along this center line here. And to be honest, this here's, it's got a slight bow here, but then it sort of tips up right there. So I can actually, I'll stretch this metal out and make it bow up a little bit before I put it in place to weld it. And I'll start at the bottom, weld in, because the bottom is actually a stiffer piece, and that's because it's right there where it goes into the engine bay at. The top side is a little bit less stiff. What I left there, that's the place where the window goes in, or the windshield, and it can flex. So I'll weld in the bottom first, and then I'll get it in place. If I have to do a little bit of sanding to get it to fit right, and but then I can, after I get it tacked in all the way around, I can sort of finish doing body work just by tapping in and getting it curved right. And anything that's out of whack a little bit, I can use a little body filler. My plan is, though, to use as little body filler on this car as possible, just a little bit to sort of smooth out some areas, like that back fender where I know I can't get it completely straight because it has been hit. But just did it as two pieces. It'll just make it a little bit easier to put back together. This piece right here is what I'm going to use in that back section behind where the fuel tank sits. That piece that I cut out that they had put that C channel in. I just got a piece of this box section right here. It's 1.5 by 3, I think. I'm going to cut it to length, weld in between the frame. Got two big 4x4 sheets of 18 gauge sheet metal. That's that inner rocker panel that's preformed. And right there's the floor pans. And then I've got several big sheets of more sheet metal back here in the back to do all the metal work that I need to do. This right here is starting to dry up good now. It's starting to stiffen up. I can touch it without getting much tackiness on me. So really, what I can see so far, I've got to make my box. That's that 4x4 sheet metal that I've got. I'm going to use that, make my box out of. I've got to fix that hole, which this should be somewhat pretty easy. But we'll see what all has to get ripped out whenever he's sandblasted. I know I've got a hole right there, pinholes everywhere. Over here, I got a little bit of holes over in this corner, but nothing bad, nothing I can't patch up. I've got to get back in here because all these holes right here are where that piece of C channel and all that other was. So I've got to. I'm probably gonna put that piece of 1.5 by 3 back here, and then weld all this up. That will strengthen that. Let's see here. I know I have the hole in the window well there. I ended up taking that one patch panel that's been in that floor. That there was a drain hole is what that was, and then they just, I don't know what the heck happened. They just ripped it out and did that. I cut out a little bit more of that floor pan out there to get rid of that sharp edge that was in there. So this car should be ready and ripping for him to media blast tomorrow. I'm gonna have him media blast everything in the inside that he can reach, and then I'm gonna come back with that epoxy primer, and I'm gonna hit every area that I don't plan on having to weld. Any area that I plan on having to weld, I'm gonna leave it unprimered. What I'll do is I'll just spray it black. The epoxy primer I have is a gray color. And so any area that I'm going to be welding in, I'll spray paint it black to keep any flash rusting from happening. But that way it's easier for me to spot on where I need to repair. It's places like right here. This is part of the front bumper support, and this also, like from right here where these two bolts are down to right here, this whole section is one piece that is for the hood latch, bumper support, grill support, everything. This right here, I don't know if you can see it, it had been ripped apart at one point. Whenever I was taking this apart, this was actually bent down a little bit, so I pushed it back in place. I gotta weld all that up. Other places that need to be welded, like I said, I still gotta finish that over. I finished this over here. Guy contacted me today that lives over here close to where I live at. Apparently he's doing similar thing to the same exact car. His is a 73 though. Really the only difference in them that I know of is the rear tail lights. They go from the long bar tail light to a 4 square. But I think he's got this, I don't know if it's the same suspension system or what. I think he has the Control Freak suspension that he's putting on his. He's already got his body work done though from the pictures that he showed me, but he actually cut his shock towers off right here. And I thought that was pretty neat. That might be a way I go. If everything looks out right, I might cut this shock tower off, plate the top of it, and then plate the inside. And what they'll do is I'll just open up the engine bay for whatever else I want to do to it, just make it cleaner. He had filled in most of all those holes. He had filled in all those holes that what I could see. The picture I saw, most of those were filled in except for the steering column and the brake hole. But this side over here, I couldn't really see it, but I'm pretty sure unless he's using their factory AC, which he's using LS, so I'm reckoning he's probably closed that in too. This whole front floor pan right here, there's a patch right here, but right here where in the inside, this is where the old fuse panel was, and right there's the pass through to the engine bay. This is the driver's side floorboard. Right here in this section right here, this was pretty bad rusty, so I'm going to have to really put a piece in here, weld all that up, and that's in here where this is that water box. This is the floor pan right here, but it's right in here. It's all rusted up. So, man, there's a lot to do to this car. Right there's my hole for my fuel filler, and these rear trunk mounts, they are welded in. It's I don't know how to explain it. They're welded in the top, and there's really no way to take those apart easily. It's like a clock spring almost. And pretty much all there is as far as fasteners there is to adjust the tension on them, because if you don't have the rear spoiler, you don't need these as heavy, as heavy. If you have the rear spoiler, you're adding an additional probably 20 pounds out to the back of it. So I know the way it's set right now, it wasn't meant for the spoiler, and when I would start bringing it down about so far, it would just go ahead and shut itself, which you really don't want. You don't want it falling on your head. I'm ready. It's exciting. But as soon as he's done media blasting tomorrow, I'll get out here and start primering and painting and all the other small parts. I probably won't be able to primer tomorrow, so I'll just put them in my shed, my garage here, so they don't flash rust on me. Anyways, guys, you have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.